Stargate.
Continue.
This guy.
Right here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you storyboard every transition that you made in space? Or is that something that you think of at the moment when you're on set?
Not quite. They weren't. I didn't really storyboard much in space. There wasn't really time because it's a TV
Right.
series. You don't really get a lot of time to do that. I remember storyboarding some of that paintball sequence, but all the transitions were all written into the script. I had it all kind of figured out, so I'd read the script and write all that stuff in the margins. So my scripts that I've got are all marked up with little doodles of the transitions and odd little storyboards, and then that would all be written into the shot list and stuff. So they would all be kind of worked out before time, because usually the whole show was filmed in one big chunk, so these 7 episodes we were doing one long chunk, sometimes doing bits from 7 episodes a day rather than 1 episode a week, and so you could be shooting part of a scene and, you know, whip off and then do the rest of it like 4 weeks later.
One of Edgar's an enormous, Edgar has one of Edgar's amazing talents is he has an enormous capacity to hold an entire project in his head, and he genuinely does. One of the first things that impressed me about him was that he could visualize the entire product, that's the corporate shit, you know, thing in his head, and so that all the transitions, he's doing it all in his mind. And the reason his hair is that big is because his head goes all the way to the top of it. He's got a big brain.
Even during this Q&A, I have storyboarded the entirety of Behind Enemy Lines. It's going to be amazing. There's a boy-girl scene, and then some toys. That's just the first part.
Any more for any more?
Okay, let's have a couple more. This guy.
We can crack on.
In the party episode, when they're walking up to Amber's party and
There
they're all
you go.
wearing sunglasses, is that a reference?
Close Encounters of
Close
the Third
Encounters.
Kind, which was set up earlier on with the mashed potato. Keep up.
I believe that is an obscure American film.
A little indie pink.
Okay, let's just have 2 quick more. Lady there.
Why is Tim afraid of bamboo?
That
Xenophobia.
whole
Play on
thing.
words.
Yeah, that was out of my stand-up. I used to do a routine about being frightened of dogs, and the whole notion that it was called caneophobia, and so I figured out that they meant bamboo canes.
Were you ever scared of dogs?
Never.
Okay.
I got on better with Ada than Jess did. When Jess met Ada, she had rubber gloves on, and Ada freaked out, but Ada loved me, and she still does, and a lot of dogs love me, and particularly Minnie.
Case in point,
Case in
in the next episode that you're going to see, I think Ada didn't take to Jessica that well, because in the scene in the comic shop coming up, Jessica trod on Ada.
Oh yeah.
And in shot, and there was the most almighty like screech, which I had on tape. I was thinking, that's a good sound. So later on in the episode, when Colin gets dognapped, you hear that sound. So when Colin gets dognapped, you hear the sound of Jessica treading on him. So there's an out for that. It's a little bit of dog snuff.
One more to round out the Q&A, and then we'll crack on. You there, sir, woman, lady. Sorry, my eyes focused on your beautiful blonde hair, but I saw the Bat t-shirt first. It says a lot about me.
What is the song that Daisy listens to?
It's Prefab Sprout, King of Rock and Roll. It's a one-hit wonder in the UK.
Ah, Prefab Sprout.
Oh no, I mean, sorry. Maybe was that a hit here at all?
No.
Hot Dog, Jumping Frog, Albuquerque. That's a good song, actually.
Words to live by. Hot dog, jumping frog.
Albuquerque.
Daisy in the episode, she remembers it wrong and says, Albuquerque. Because she doesn't know how to pronounce Albuquerque. Anyway.
Does anyone have any burning things from those before, just in case?
Shout them out.
This guy.
Did you always mean for Daisy and Tim to fall in love?
Oh, that's a big question. We'll answer
Let's
that.
answer that later. That's a big question.
I'm thinking specifics. Like, you know what Bubba Job Week is?
What is that?
Yeah, that's the, you know the Girl Scouts and the Cub Scouts, you guys have them here, like the little paedophile organisation. They have a week when they come around your house and they do jobs for money. You know, and they just knock on your door and...
Got any jobs, Governor?
You can clean my cupboard and then suck me off.
That's the first thing from the amazing that we've got this kind of connection.
Yeah, it's all up there. And a bob is, we call money, you give someone a bob, you give them a bit of money, don't you? Do you want a bob for that?
And one last question, we'll get on. Okay, lady.
What's a drop?
Oh, don't you have, there's like a troll, like a, go on.
Yeah, it's like a little Swedish troll type character that brings you luck.
What do you call them here?
Troll doll.
Troll dolls?
Troll dolls.
There you go.
There you
It's
go.
a fucking troll doll. Why don't we watch the end of, I don't know what I was doing now. Why don't we watch the next 3 episodes of Space?